Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Video Guys Live. It is Tuesday. It is about 3 o'clock Eastern, which means it is time to talk for about 15 to 20 minutes about some live production equipment. And today we are going to be talking about 3-pack bundles that are available from a whole range of manufacturers for every single workflow and honestly every price as well, every budget as well. So let's just get right into it. What are some of the advantages of a 3-camera bundle? Well, the first thing is going to be you can save money. Whether or not this is going to be 5% off the entire order, 10% off the entire order, or maybe you're even getting a controller for free. So definitely want to take advantage of 3-camera bundles to save yourself a little bit of money. It's a starter kit. It is a starting ground. Most productions have a 3-camera setup, and we're going to talk about some workflows a little bit later on, but this is a really good place to start. You get 3 cameras and your controller. And again, that controller is included. So the way that you can control all of these cameras is with a single joystick controller. We're going to talk about some other ways that you can control cameras as well, but the primary function, if you're going to get a bundle, is to just use the included controller. And of course, you're going to have multiple angles of your event, whether it is a podcast or a sporting event or a house of worship or a classroom. You are going to have multiple angles covered. And of course, if you're using the same manufacturer's cameras, all of your camera settings are going to match, whether it is your exposure or your color or anything like that. It's all going to be consistent and easy to copy from one camera to the next camera. And it's scalable. A lot of these workflows are going to be NDI workflows, and as long as you have enough, bandwidth on your network, it is easy enough to just add another camera down the line. A lot of the PTZ controllers on the market are able to control, upwards of 1 to 200 cameras all at the same time. So you can easily add more cameras or NDI encoders or decoders to your workflow. It's very scalable. And since we're talking about scalable, this is also a great time to upgrade. If you are using a production workflow that is, let's say, 5 years old now, you are going to be missing out on quite a lot of technology that has come to these PTZ cameras over the years. The first is going to be better optics. Every single one of these manufacturers with new cameras, they're going to have better f-stops, lower f-stops for low light conditions. They're going to have better imaging sensors in them. A lot of them will go up to full 60 FPS, whether it's in full HD or 4K 60. And all of these cameras, most of these cameras, I should say, have some form of AI auto tracking. And as well with the better image sensors, a lot of these cameras will also have high dynamic range or at least a wider dynamic range than their previous models. NDI is constantly improving. We're on NDI 6.2. We're on NDI HX3. So we are maximizing the efficiency of that bandwidth on your network, talking about being able to easily scale up. On a 1 gig network now, you can have upwards of 8 to 10 cameras and not be worried about overhead because NDI HX3 uses H.265 compression to get the maximum amount of leniency on your bandwidth. And PoE efficiency. As cameras have gotten better with the same power requirements of about 30 watts PoE plus, now these cameras are able to do so much more, one of those things being AI auto tracking. On a lot of previous generation cameras, you would have to host the auto tracking on a separate computer, but now all of the auto tracking is hosted on the camera itself. Some of these cameras even have multiple cameras on them, so you can get even more advanced auto tracking. So there is a lot of reasons to upgrade from your old system to a new system, and these camera bundles are a perfect way to get into that. Cameras are very easily able to be mounted. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're putting these cameras where you have good lines of sight of your stage or your speaker or whatever the field is. You don't want to place your camera behind a pole and accidentally pan to the left and all of a sudden now you can't see half the field. You want to make sure that you're overlapping your camera's visibility. Again, if you have multiple cameras, that it becomes easier and easier. And PTZ cameras are getting way easier to mount as well. Not only are there the standard, wall mounts and ceiling mounts, but all of these cameras, or most of them, will have either a standard 1/4 20 screw attachment point or just a 1/4 inch screw attachment point. So you can put these on any kind of standardized tripod or rigging system, whether you have let's say like a Jimmy jib or something like that. As long as you have a 1/4 20 attachment point, you are good to go. All right, so let's talk about some workflow examples. Now, I know at the top of the show, I said we're going to be talking about 3 camera bundles. Spoiler alert, there's actually some bundles available where you can get more than 3 cameras. And so let's talk about an ideal workflow for a house of worship. Now, of course, you're going to want to have your main camera in the back, and that's going to focus on whoever is doing the presenting, whether it's the pastor, whether it is the organist, or let's say the choir. And then you have the ability to have 2 cameras on the sides. Those are going to be further up, closer to the stage. Those are going to be your close-up shots of whoever is speaking or whoever is singing. And then that camera all the way to the left there in the back is actually for a reaction shot, especially with houses of worship. The people that are watching from home want to see the people that they are not able to see in person. They want to see people singing along to the hymns or praying with the pastor. And they want to feel a part of the community. And the best way to do that is to show them the community that they are, in fact, a part of. Next up, I want to talk about corporate offices or office spaces in general, especially when it comes to BirdDog's new Mach-E Live and Mach-E Live Studio. Now, these cameras are great because they're Wi-Fi compatible and they're battery operated and they're very small. So these are very easy to move around in office space and not have to worry about getting a cable to it. As long as you can connect to your Wi-Fi network, you are good to go with these cameras. They have a 6-hour battery life included on them. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that you could do an office setup. In this scenario, I'm kind of trying to show that you have one pointing towards your screen, whoever's doing your presenting on your screen. And then you can have 2 cameras on either side of the table to get the 4 people on either side of that table. But again, with the ease of mobility of the Mach-E Lives, you can move these cameras anywhere around in this office, and no matter what, they are going to be, good to go. Again, 6-hour battery life and Wi-Fi compatible. And actually, even if you don't have a Wi-Fi network in place, they can connect to the Mach-E Live Studio app on an iPad completely wirelessly, just directly to the iPad. When it comes to sporting events, there are a bunch of different ways that you can do this, but for the most part, any, let's say, rectangular playing field sport, the easiest thing and best thing to do is just have 1 camera at each of your end zones or your goals, and then having 1 camera in at the center line to be able to track the ball or the puck or whatever is going on the screen, on the game. Now, of course, if you have the ability to add a 4th camera, my recommendation is to put that right next to the centerline camera and have a close-up shot of the ball or the puck or whatever the play is that's going on the field, and then having a wide shot as a backup to make sure no matter what, that ball goes really far out of frame, you go back to your wide shot. No harm, no foul. No pun intended. When it comes to baseball, my recommendation is at the very least having 1 camera behind the pitcher, 1 camera behind the batter, so you can get like a kind of reverse shot of that play, and then also that camera that's behind the batter can follow the ball and at the very least see all 3 of the bases to follow the play. If you have the ability to go up to 4 cameras, again, having a camera on each one of the baselines is going to be our recommendation, so you have every angle of that baseball field covered. Now, let's start by talking about some of the bundles that are available. And the first thing I want to talk about is box camera bundles. Now, a box camera, very similar to a PTZ camera, is just the lens and the sensor of a PTZ camera. This is the BirdDog Mach-E Ultra. This is basically the same sensor and lens that is available on the X1 Ultra, but obviously it doesn't have the ability to pan, tilt, or zoom. But because it is a box camera and doesn't have a whole body to go with it, it's just the lens and sensor, there are different mounting options on the camera. So you can use this as a vertical camera or a horizontal camera. Some of the other cool things about most of the box cameras that we carry are that they actually have buttons on the side of them. So again, yes, you have a PTZ controller that can control the zoom and um, the color exposure and things like that. But a lot of these box cameras will have buttons right on them too for quick and easy access, especially when you're mounting them. And then they're still going to have a lot of the same outputs options as well. Again, this is a Bird Dog Mach-E Ultra. It has your SDI output, it has your HDMI output, it has your USB output, and it also has NDI capability, and it is a PoE plus camera. You just connect it to your network, and as long as your switch has PoE connected to it, you have the ability to connect to your network. Now, there are a couple different bundles that are available, especially from Bird Dog. Bird Dog has their brand new Mach-E Live cameras that we were talking about just a minute ago. These are completely wireless, HDMI, and battery powered box cameras. They're very small, 4K 30p cameras. There's a 3-camera bundle available for $13.95. And then if you wanted to take it a step further and get the control surface, for the Mach-E Live Studio, that's available with 3 cameras plus the control surface and the license key to unlock the app on an iPad, and that is available for $19.95. And so basically that is an entire 3-camera production system available. And again, you can have those 3 cameras connect directly to an iPad, so you don't even necessarily need to have Wi-Fi in your building. If you just wanted to be able to record as if it was live. And then you can do all of your switching and graphics right from the control surface and on the Mach-E Live Studio app on the iPad. PTZ Optics also has a bundle available that includes a couple of their Studio 4Ks and one Move 4K. So this bundle includes the Studio 4K, a Move 4K PTZ camera, and one SuperJoy controller. And we also have a bundle available where you can kind of supersize that bundle, and you can get that in addition to a YOLObox Ultra and a Netgear switch that is designed with plenty of overhead for these 3 cameras. And even if you wanted to add another 1 or 2 cameras, that is also available for $7,699. And again, that is a complete workflow right there. That is everything you need in order to start a live stream. You get 3 cameras, your YOLObox Ultra, which is a switcher, you get your controller to be able to control the pan and tilt on the Move 4K, and the color and zoom on the Studio 4Ks, and then you also have your network switch, which is kind of the hub for all of those devices to communicate. Next up, I want to talk about some HD PTZ camera bundles that are available. And the great thing about, again, a lot of the PTZ cameras on the market is a lot of them come with free auto tracking included. Now, a PTZ camera is going to share a lot of the same things as a box camera, except now you get the addition of being able to pan and tilt your camera. So we don't need to focus on this too long. Again, PTZ camera connects to your network. A lot of them have HDMI or SDI and USB outputs, and you have tons of different ways to control these PTZ cameras. But again, if you're going to get it with a bundle, might as well just use the controller that is included in the bundle. So the first bundle that I want to talk about is Bird Dog again, with the Bird Dog X1 bundle. This is a 1080 60p PTZ camera with 20x zoom. It has their really cool tally light on it that you can see that goes around the entire lens, so you know when that camera is live. It has the AI autofocus and auto tracking. It has HDMI, USB, and IP outputs, including NDI HX3. One of the really cool things about the BirdDog X1, X1 Ultra, and X4 Ultra is that they are Wi-Fi compatible. They don't have the X1 and X1 Ultra don't have batteries included in them, but sometimes you can't run an Ethernet cable to your location, but you have an outlet available, so you can plug these cameras into the outlet, turn them on, and now they're able to connect to your Wi-Fi network. Another really cool feature about all of the BirdDog cameras is they have an e-ink label on them, on the sides of them. So you can kind of see that here. One of the really cool things about it is that it displays, once you connect it to your network, it displays the IP address, which makes it super easy to get into the web GUI for these for these cameras. And it has an integrated NDI HX decoder on it. So the HDMI can actually output a proxy file, let's say like a kind of like a teleprompter or something like that. The next bundle available is the brand new X1 30X PTZ camera. Now this is all of the same specs as the X1, except this now has a 30X optical zoom. So it's still going to have the same tally light, autofocus, auto tracking, HDMI, USB, IP output, including NDI HX3, has that Wi-Fi connection availability, e-ink label on the side, and integrated NDI HX decoder. The X1 30X is not available yet. We are expecting to have it at the beginning of November, and we are basically taking pre-orders for this now. So if you are looking to get into a 1080 30X workflow, this is a great starting point. Next up that I want to talk about is PTZ Optics Producer Bundle Specials. Now this bundle includes 3 PTZ Optics Move SE 20Xs, and it also includes their PT Joy G4 joystick. Now the PTZ Optics Move SE cameras are their 1080 60p cameras, and it has, again, a 20x optical zoom. One of the things that kind of makes PTZ Optics stand out is their cameras have HDMI, SDI, USB, and IP outputs, including NDI. And of course, it's a PoE Plus compatible camera. And again, it has built-in auto tracking, and it's available in gray or white. The next kind of like topic that I want to cover is 4K PTZ cameras. Now, there are a bunch of different reasons why you may want to look into getting a 4K PTZ camera. And of course, 4K means it's going to have higher quality. There are different reasons why you may want to record in 4K. Let's say that you are only just outputting in 1080. Well, you can record in 4K, do some post-production work, digitally zoom into your 4K image a little bit, and nobody's going to notice as long as you're exporting it in 1080. And that's going to be the same thing basically as my third bullet there actually, is that you have that lossless digital zoom when you're outputting in HD. And because there's more pixels on these cameras, they are a little bit better in low light capabilities as well. So let's talk about some of the 4K PTZ camera bundles that are available. BirdDog also has their X1 Ultra bundle available. Now this is a 4K 30p camera and a lot of the same functionality as the X1 or X1 30X. This has a 12x optical zoom, has that same tally light around the entire lens, AI autofocus and auto tracking, HDMI, IP, and USB outputs, including NDI HX3. Also compatible with the Wi-Fi antenna that comes with it, has an e-ink label on the side of it, and an integrated NDI HX decoder. Next up is the BirdDog X4 Ultra combo. Now the X4 is a little bit different. This gets into the 4K 60p range, also uses NDI HX3, also has antennas on the back of it, and you heard that correct, there's 2 antennas on the back of it, has the same e-ink display, has the same halo tally light, adds an SDI cable, 3G SDI, so 1080 out of the SDI, HDMI, USB, Ethernet, and Wi-Fi. And the big thing that makes the X4 stand out is it has that built-in battery. So you can run this camera, it's very similar to the Maki Live camera, in a workflow where you don't have access to power or an Ethernet cable. As long as you have a Wi-Fi network in place, you can use this camera because it has the 6-hour built-in battery that you can charge. Next up is PTZ Optics' other producer bundle, and this is with their Move 4K and their flagship controller, the SuperJoy controller. Now, the Move 4K is, again, their flagship PTZ camera. It goes up to 4K 60p. And again, in this bundle, you also get 20x cameras. You have NDI, HDMI, 3G SDI, USB, and other IP outs. Again, same thing, PoE Plus compatible, and it also has built-in auto tracking. Some of the cool things about the SuperJoy controller are that it actually has the ability with the HDMI output, to have an RTSP stream of the cameras to give you a preview of what the camera is seeing. And it also has a basic mode, which makes it so super easy for volunteers to use. And while we're talking about some of the features that are available on the controllers, the standout feature for the Bird Dog controller is that it actually gives you a preview built right into the multi-viewer display. I believe it's a 4-inch screen, and you can have either one camera's feed displaying or up to a 4-way multi-view screen. Next up, I want to talk about Canon and their CRN 100 bundle and their CRN 300 bundle. Now, these cameras are also very similar to each other. The main difference between the 100 and the 300 is that the 300 adds an SDI port on the back of it. So the CRN 100 is a 4K 30p camera. If you put it into 1080, it can go up to 60 FPS. These cameras have a 20x optical zoom. They have image stabilization on them too. A lot of the times, if you're in like a house of worship and you put your camera on the back wall and you fully zoom in, if the choir is really going on that in that balcony, you can see the vibrations. But all of the Canon PTZ cameras have this image stabilization built in that will help mitigate that. Again, it also has a tally lamp. It's a 3.5 millimeter audio input. And is PoE compatible. And again, I have highlighted here that the CRN 100 has HDMI, USB, and NDI output. And if we look at the CRN 300, the only difference is going to be that the CRN 300 adds a 3G SDI output as well. And so that's Canon. Now let's talk about some of the flagship production bundles that are available. Now these cameras are going to have larger image sensors or finer motors to really get the smoothest possible pan, tilt, and zoom capable. These large image sensors obviously are going to be really good in low light because it's allowing more light to hit those sensors. But it also, because of the larger image sensor, you're going to have a shallower depth of field, and it's just going to look more cinematic. A lot of these cameras will either have wide dynamic range or just complete HDR, high dynamic range. They're going to have expanded color control. A lot of them will have Gen Lock, and these are going to have 4K 60p workflows even through the SDI. So let's start off by talking about the X5 Ultra Combo. Again, this is from Bird Dog. This is a 4K 60p camera with 20x optical zoom, has HDMI, USB-C, and 12G SDI outputs. You have the choice of choosing between either NDI HX2 or HX3 for outputs, and it also has that HDMI decoder in, has an e-ink, tally light, and auto tracking. One of the things that really sets the X5 apart from the other Bird Dog cameras, the X1, X1 Ultra, and X4 Ultra, is that it has that super fine motor in it that makes there is virtually no staircasing effect at all when you are panning, tilting, or zooming with the X5. The next thing, and this is hot off the press, is the Bird Dog XL Ultra Combo. Now, this is their flagship camera. This has a huge sensor on it. It has a 4/3 CMOS sensor on it, full 4K 60p, 20x optical zoom. It has two cameras on it, actually. So there is the main flagship camera on the top, and then there is also a panoramic camera on the bottom. And like I said earlier, that can be used to help with auto tracking. If your subject goes out of frame on the main camera, the panoramic camera can still be able to track them and help tell the main camera where they are on the field. And you can also just take that output as another source if you just want to have a super wide angle shot. It has 12G SDI and 3G SDI outputs, as well as HDMI outputs. It has balanced XLR inputs, so you can have much higher quality audio being fed into your workflow. And these cameras, typically these flagship cameras, are going to be PoE++, which is 60 to 90 watts. So just keep that in mind if you are looking at some of these flagship cameras. And of course, it has the e-ink display and that bird dog instantly recognizable halo light. Another new camera that is available from BirdDog, and just like the XL Ultra and the X130X, these are going to be shipping at the end of October, and we are expecting to have them in our warehouse at the beginning of November. Now, the BirdDog 04 is their outdoor camera. So this is an IP66 rated camera for dust and water resistance. It has a crazy high operating temperature range of -40 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 140 degrees operating temperature, and it has an integrated heater in it, and that's how it's able to work in such cold cold conditions. It has a 30x optical zoom, but again, if you are only outputting in HD, you can do a digital lossless zoom in and have a 60 times zoom in HD. And it also has some night vision capabilities as well. As a 1/1.8-inch CMOS sensor, has, again, wide dynamic range, full 4K 60p, IP AI auto tracking, and it also has IP, SDI, HDMI fiber, high bandwidth, and NDI HX outputs available. And that's actually the same thing with the XL Ultra that I did not mention. It has the ability to either use full bandwidth or NDI HX2 or NDI HX3. It is really up to you to decide which version you want to use. These actually, a lot of these BirdDog, the X5, X4, the 04, and the XL Ultra actually have the controller included for free. So that is another thing to point out with some of these BirdDog combos. Next up is the Canon CRN 500. This is the one of Canon's 1-inch sensor cameras. This camera goes up to 4K 30, also has the ability to do up to 1080 60. Has a 15x optical zoom lens on it, with, again, that optical image stabilization. So when you're fully zoomed in, it really mitigates a lot of the vibrations. It has dual pixel CMOS autofocus. Has 3G SDI and full 4K HDMI outputs. It has 2 XLRs that are built in for, again, better audio. It has Genlock for time sync. These cameras also have the ability to use Canon log, which is their kind of flattened color output, so you can do more post-production work with it. Another thing that I didn't mention when I was talking about the other Canon cameras is the XC protocol. The XC protocol is really cool because that allows you to control not only their PTZ cameras, but some of their cinema cameras and camcorders, such as the XF605. So you can have that XF605 connected to the RCIP100, and you can control your PTZ cameras, and then you can also control the zoom, focus, and color and exposure of your camcorders as well. These are PoE Plus cameras, and they have the add-ons of the advanced auto tracking and auto loop add-on applications that are available for the CRN 500. Panasonic has their flagship camera, the UE160, and with their bundle, this also includes their controller, their controller for free in this bundle. This has a 4K 60p sensor, 1-inch CMOS sensor, has HDMI output, 3G SDI and 12G SDI outputs, has IP connectivity, including high bandwidth NDI and NDI HX, as well as being the industry's first SMPTE ST2110 standard compatible PTZ camera. So this can be used in a true broadcast level production, and you know that it will meet all of the standards of SMPTE ST2110. It has the ability to send out an SRT and RTMP output. It's 2 XLR inputs on the inside, next-gen imaging processing, phase detection autofocus, which is top of the line. It has 3D, which is used when you're doing assisted reality or virtual reality tracking. One of the other cool things is that it has moire reduction. So if you are, shooting up against a screen or a person is wearing a lot of stripes, it has moire reduction to kind of get rid of that. And these cameras are fantastic in low light performance and also have the ability to output in V-Log, which is their very flat, color neutral output, again, used for post-production workflows with high dynamic range. Now, there are a lot of bundles and combos that we just talked about. And I just want to say, as always, if you have any questions about finding the right camera or bundle or controller for your workflow, absolutely feel free to reach out to us and we will help find the right bundle for you. You can give us a call at 800-323-2325, or you can send us an email at sales@videoguys.com. We will absolutely help find the right bundle or combo for you. But there's a little bit more. If none of these bundles or combos are saying, calling out to you specifically, fear not. We have some flexible bundles that are available as well. PTZ Optics has their Flex bundle. Basically, you can mix and match any 3 to 6 cameras from PTZ Optics. That can be the Simple Track, that can be Move SE, that can be Move 4K, that can be the Studio 4K, that can be the Studio SE. You can mix and match any 3 to 6 of those cameras, plus either the IP Joy G4 or the Super Joy controller, and we will give you 5% off that entire order. So that is a great flex bundle to take advantage of. Excuse me. Bird Dog is doing something similar with their Build Your Own combo, and this is available with any 3 of their cameras, excluding the Mach-E. So this can be the X1, X1 Ultra, X1 X3, X1 30X, X4, X5, 04, XL Ultra, the Mach-E Ultras, excuse me, and you can combine that with either the Mach-E Live Studio or the KBD controller, and we will take 10% off your entire order. So there are, again, just tons of different options available, and I know we talked about a lot of different cameras and specs and outputs and inputs and audio and controllers. Seriously, if you have any questions, absolutely give us a call, 800-323-2325, and we will help find the right bundle for your workflow. We'll see you next week. Thanks.
Video Guys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.